Hi y'all, I'm Sarah Adkins and I'm going to tell you all about this awesome tool, Socrative by Mastery Connect. Basically, you're going to log on to Socrative.com. There's an option for student login and teacher login. This is what it looks like when you go to teacher login. Sorry, I'm already logged in. Um, this is what it'll look like when you go to teacher login and you'll just log in. Um, this is what it comes up with you as your teacher page. This is the student login. Whenever you saw at the very beginning where it gave you the option of logging in, you could pick and choose whether it was teacher or student. Um, this is the student login. Like I said, this is student login, and it asks us for a room number. So this is my room number to my class. So whenever you were as a student, you go to log in. That's the number you would type in, and I would have it up on the board. I let my students know that's the room number. So basically, the point of this awesome tool is to check and see what your students know. So you can do quizzes, you can do this thing called Space Race, Exit Ticket. You can use different types of ways to assess your students. They can be formative, or it could be off the bat, like as soon as you finish a lesson, all right, we're going to get on here. I'm going to give you the room number, and you're going to do this exit ticket before you leave. You're just going to answer this quick question for me, and you're done. Or I could do it at the end of the week and say, okay, here's what we learned this week. I need to know, what you don't know. And they can log in and they can just, you know, answer the questions with the quiz. There's also the space race, which is pretty cool that it shows you your progress that you've made. It's if you're getting the answers right, you start to go further. You get them wrong, you don't move. There's also these things called quick questions, and I can easily check multiple choice, true, false, or short answer because those are the types of questions that you are going to write. Um, this can be used on any device, iPad, tablet, phone, computer. Um, there's this awesome website that I looked up to look up different things about it off of makingtechsimple.com. It's an old version of Socrative, but that's okay because it still all is the same information. I talked about the room number. You can even say how many students are in your room, which it shows you that on here whenever I make my rooms. I can add a room, but that's only with GoPro, so that's like a con, in my opinion, because you don't have the full capacity of what Circative can do. Um, the free version is awesome, so that is a positive. Like, you have it free, you can try it out, you can use it, you can make different tests and quizzes, and you don't ever actually have to have the pro, but you can have the pro so you can have more than one class. Because I did. I had three classes in one because I taught just reading and writing, so it would have been helpful to have three different rooms so I wouldn't get those confused. It also tells you, that you can merge quizzes, all this stuff it says on here. It's pretty cool, but that's got to be a big con because you can't get a hold of every single function. But it's a pro because you still can use this for free. Um, so with this, we can make quizzes, like I was saying. So I can make a quiz, or I can even import a quiz. So that's pretty cool. That's a pro, in my opinion, that I can import a quiz that I've already made into this program. So that way, I already know um, what I want in there. I'm going to create a new one so you all can see what it's like to start the process. This is going to be a test quiz. It's going to have different questions on there because I'm not aligning it to a standard, but you can align it to a standard, which is pretty cool. I can say, okay, this is the subject, this is the what I want to learn, I want to teach. So social studies, we'll say that because I do a lot of social studies with writing because we don't have a lot of time for writing. I mean, for social studies in our school. So, they don't even give you the option for fifth grade. We can look at sixth and eighth grade, and then even have the standards so I can pick the standard. So that is pretty cool. That's a positive thing too. So here's the different question choices. So I can make a multiple choice question, and even with the multiple choice question, I can add a picture, which is really cool. So I could sit here and I could take this picture. Um, say I pick Buzz and Woody, and I say these characters are from what movie. And then I can have my choices. I can say, Toy Story. I can say Bugs Life. I can say Up. Different choices. And you can even add as many answer choices as you want. I wouldn't go more than 4. That's just kind of my thought of it. Um, and then I could do a random one. Um, so you would pick the correct answer, so it would be Toy Story, and you can even give an explanation of why it's Toy Story. Um, there's also true and false. So I can say one question is the sky blue? True or false? True. And you could say because of the water molecules. That's why the sky is blue. Your students will be able to see that explanation as well after they answer. You even have a short answer. I can say describe what the world would be like if there were no dogs. So then your students, there's the correct answer that I could put there, but then they also have that choice. They're going to tell you what they think the world would be like without dogs. So I would save that. And then you can even move the questions up or down. You can delete it. You can copy it. I'm going to save and exit this so that you can see what it kind of looks like with this test, because I want to show you the really cool thing with these reports. I can show you what it looks like. So I'm going to show you the cool one with the space race, and we're going to choose the um, oh um, I can choose the number of teams if I want my students to be on teams. I can do there's so many different choices. I could make them tell me their name, which I really want them to. So obviously it shows you their names required, and it also gives them the feedback. I can show them their final score. I could shuffle the questions or the answers, which I would do that in my class. You can even change it from different icons of how you want your race to be. You can, oh, see, there's another con. Another thing you can't do is this countdown. I'm going to just say that there's 2 teams because with the space launch you have to have teams. With the multiple choice questions or the exit tickets and all that stuff, you don't have to have teams because it's just you. So I can have my class. Well, I've got a blue team and a magenta. So I would have my students log in to my class. So they would type in that room number that was on the other page, and they just asked to join, and it would come up, and they would write what their name is, and I'd have my students tell me their name. So my name is Atkins. And here's my question. And as I'm answering these questions, you'll be able to see the results on the screen. So these characters are from what movie? I say Toy Story. Submit my answer, and it even tells me that I'm right because it gives me that. And I can look. Oh, look. I'm in the lead. I'm winning. My students can decide and pick what team they're actually on. So I can say, is the sky blue? False. Oh, I was incorrect. That's the reason why the sky's blue. And then could say, what the world would be like with no dogs? It would suck. Because I'm sure it would be some of fifth graders' answers. So it tells you that I'm done, and then I'm just waiting for the next activity to begin. So I can keep quizzing them if I want to, with different things. I can have them retake that quiz, but I'd wait for everyone to be finished with it first. Um, so then you'll see these results. So basically, I'm just gonna say I'm finished. Now, this is the cool part. That I think is awesome, that this is how it's going to collect the data, and I can use it for knowing what my students know or not. I can get the results in a report form, in a chart, or I can launch it. So get reports, I can look at it as a whole class, I can look at it individually, I can look at the question specifically, I can say download, I can email it to me, and we can look at them. So it'll download it. So I had it download basically all of it, and it kicked me out for a second because I was doing both at the same time. But you can easily go back to your reports and click it, and you can click the test and it shows you. So I'm going to show open the folder so I can see. So here's like the questions. It tells me the questions and what my class did um, on this spreadsheet. So it shows you, and like as in a spreadsheet, if there was a lot more questions, it would tell you all the answers and everything. It also can show you the questions in a PDF form. You can look at the results in a chart. It would show you that you can have it show me the names and the answers. Um, you can look at the report. The reports are super cool, and you can also launch it. Go back to the big front page. Um, I would use this data right away. Like if I'm collecting an extra ticket, I just write one question on the board for the students to, or have the question for them and they have to answer it. That way I know what they learned for the day. If they got the main idea or the key concept or, that standard, what we were learning that day. If they didn't, I could easily go back the next day and hit on it and reteach. I can also compare the data as a whole class and see basically even on as questions if I gave a quiz and saw that 50% of the class missed question one, or 90% of the class missed question two, or 30% of the class only got this part of this question right. I could easily look at that and then group my students where they need to be. I can differentiate my lesson plans and to hit where they need it, when I need to make sure I teach with who and who's got it, who doesn't have it. So this tool is super awesome to look at everything and go beyond just what you would think and expect for just some tool just to get some information from a kid. So to them, they think that they're learning and having fun, especially when they're playing the space race game. Or, even doing something different. Instead of a pencil and paper test, they're taking a quiz on the computer or their phone. And, you know, that's fun to them. And to me, it helps me collect the data so I don't have to write it down and put it on a piece of paper and lose the paper. It's all right there on my laptop whenever I need it. So that's basically it about Socrative, and I love this thing, and I hope you all will give it a chance.